Welcome back to my channel. My name is Surprise Madula and this is my channel By Faith We See. Thank you so much for tuning back in to another video. I haven't done this sit down thing in a while. Guys, I've put on eyelashes for the first time for YouTube, and honey, like this one is okay and this one not so much, but like, you know, disclaimer, one eyelash might look weird and the other, you know, all of that, disclaimer. But either way, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about remember, actually I did the recruitment series and there were 3 videos. Well, I'd hoped to do 4 videos, but the topic for the 4th video, I wasn't too sure which direction I was like to go in and what to talk about, because recruitment is such a hot topic in terms of people just want to know, how do I get a job? And as a recruiter, I don't always have the answers. So I thought, why not speak about my career journey and sort of how I started working and how I landed where I'm at today. So yeah, I just wanted to share my career journey, things that I learned. It will be a brief video, hopefully. Yeah, it won't be too long. Alright, so let's get straight into it. I don't want to keep you guys here for long. So I started working at the age of 19, which is in 2015. In 2015, I was 19 years old. I had just started my first semester of university with UNISA, basically embarking on doing a BA Communication Sciences degree, because at that time in my life I wanted to be a journalist so bad. I just wanted to be a TV presenter, a journalist, newsreader. I was very into politics as well, very woke, if you will, at that time, and I just wanted to be the person that gives others information that can help, one, better their lives, secondly, put them in a better place than they were previously. So that was my passion at the age of 19. So I embarked on my communications degree, and as I began this degree, I realized the cost of textbooks. I remember my mom spent 1.7 actually on 3 textbooks, and this is the first time that I had experienced this. Remember, I've never been to university. It's the first time I'm seeing my mom pay 1.7 for books, and I just thought to myself, no, I cannot allow my mom to be paying 1.7. And she as well was like, you know, it is a bit expensive. So her and I sort of just came up with the idea that I'm gonna start working. So my mom drafted my CV for me, and she was like, okay, you know what, we're gonna find you a job. So that went on where, you know, drafting the CV, going to different agencies, and just, you know, like really trying to get me into a temp role, because my mom was like, you know, if you get into a temp role, you know, you just understand how the working world works. I really think it will do you wonders. So cool. My mom knew this guy who worked at a recruitment agency. And my mom was like, I have a daughter to this guy. My mom was like, we'll call this guy Sam. So my mom told Sam, I have a daughter and she is 19, very well spoken. She's in university. She's looking for a job. Then Sam says to my mom, okay, we have temp roles available. Give me her CV. Let me meet her. So the one day my mom called Sam, she had just come back from work. It was a Saturday, she had just come back from work, I can't remember. And my mom was like, Sam wants to speak to you on the phone. So Sam wanted to hear how I articulate my words so that he could use me as a temp receptionist. So I spoke to Sam on the phone. He's like, okay, you speak well. My mom sent him my best picture. At that time I had a bob cut. I was just starting, like, I just started learning how to do makeup, so you know, I was looking cute or whatever. So Sam was like, okay, you know, bring her in on Monday. That Monday, I remember I woke up in the morning. I had a black pencil skirt, a peplum top. You know, peplums are in. For the guys, a peplum top is a top that, like, it flares out here, like here, so like it's like this. So yes. So I wore my peplum top and my pencil skirt, and I went to this company. It was an FMCG company. They store foods, frozen foods for fast food joints, like different fast food joints, like your McDonald's, KFC, all of that. Okay, so cool. I went to this place in Centurion to be a temp through this agency that Sam works for. I started out as a temp the first day. I didn't know how to answer phones. I just, like, yo guys, like I didn't know how to answer a phone. But anyway, I answered the phone as best as I could, and then they were just like, you're just gonna file. And also guys, I didn't know how to use a laptop or computer because I'd never really used a laptop or computer. I wasn't exposed to that. I was exposed to it, like I knew what it was, and you know, but I just knew how to use a phone and not necessarily a laptop or a computer. But anyway, kept on with that job, temping. I was still in school at the time, so I kept on temping in between 2015 and 2016. It got to a point where to the end of 2016, as I was just, you know, temping, I actually went to the agency where Sam works because they needed me to go to a different client of theirs to go and temp there. So when I arrived at the agency, I met one of the recruiters there. I will say her name is Melissa. So I met Melissa there, and Melissa was like, oh, you're surprised. Oh, you know, we've heard so many great things about you. You know, we do have an opening here. I'm looking for an assistant. And I was like, okay, you know, okay, Melissa, like, you know, what's good? And Melissa was like, we'll talk, I'll let you know. No, wait, before Melissa told me that she, oh, geez, I'm messing up the story. Before Melissa told me that she needed an assistant, that day that I met her, she had just said that she had heard good things about me, right? Cool. Then they took me to the new client, which was in Melrose Arch. I'd never been to Sandton or Melrose Arch in my life, cha. So when I got to Melrose Arch, I was like, what is this, honey? What is this? It was a traveling agency in Melrose Arch. And I was just like, what is this? Like the whole time, Jay, like, I remember at that travel agency, like, they were like, I was just answering the phones as a receptionist and just like directing the calls. It was so formal. It was my first time being in such a formal, serious environment. So I temped there for 2 days. The second day, my mom and dad came to fetch me because they were like, we want to see where you work. So they came to fetch me, and they were like, they were proud because they, well, I'm not getting emotional. My eyes are just watery. Okay, maybe I am getting emotional. So they came to fetch me, and they were like, oh my goodness, we're so proud of you. Like, they were proud. They were like, I have a message. Okay, never mind. That message is not important. It's from MTN. You know, MTN's always checking up on you. I love MTN. So they were like, we're so proud of you. You, like, you know, you're working in Stanton, and like, you know, at that time I think they were renovating parts of Melrose Arch. So my parents were very like, wow, like our baby, you know. They were very, very proud, which made me really emotional. So when I finished temping at that new client, that the client wasn't new to the agency, it was new to me. So when I finished temping, that client, I guess, also had great reviews about me. Just kidding, I don't know. So Sam then called me again and was like, can you please come and temp for us at the actual agency? So I went to the actual agency and I started temping there, and as the receptionist again. So as I was temping as the receptionist at the agency, the recruitment agency that I was temping at, the branch manager's office is literally like an earshot away from the reception area. So at this point in my life, I'd been temping for about 8 months, 7 months. I knew how to answer the phone well. You know, it's just about knowing the name of the company. So let's say, for instance, you work for a company called Media Studies. That's my textbook in front of me. So you'll say, Media Studies, good day, surprise speaking, how may I assist you? Media Studies, good morning, surprise speaking, how may I assist you? So it's you, after a while you kind of get the hang of it, right? Or you'll just say, Media Studies, surprise speaking, how can I assist you? Depending on your mood and whatever. So the branch manager was listening to me answer the phones the whole time. Like, she was just like, wow, this kid is so well spoken. Wherever I went, I was just always the youngest person there. And she just told me like, wow, because I temped there for a week. She was like, wow, you're really good. And then Melissa, the recruiter there that I mentioned earlier, was like, yeah, she is really good, isn't she? And we are looking for an assistant. I want her. So I was like, okay, is this an opportunity for a permanent role? I've never recruited. I don't know what recruitment is about. But I was like, I'm getting for anything. So Melissa was like, I'll give you a call. Like, my temping was about to come to an end. Melissa's like, I will give you a call when, you know, like when I have approval to take you on, like, you know, as my assistant permanently, as a recruiter's assistant. So I said, cool beans, Melissa, you know, do your thing. I remember it was around September. I started that job the 19th of September 2017, 16, I think, somewhere there. 2016, I think. So cool, Melissa was like, okay, I'll give you a call. So I finished temping there. I went back home, you know, just chilling at home. There were no temp assignments at that time, so I was just at home. And with the temp assignments that I was doing for about a year and a half or a year or so, I was getting paid weekly, which really helped me. I was able to pay my tuition. I was able to buy textbooks. I was able to do my nails. Like, I was really like, my life was really not well off, but I would say like I was able to do things that I needed to do. The only thing I regret not doing at that time was my license, but at that point I really didn't care. I just was happy to be making money, and I would blow it all on clothes, unfortunately. But my mom just was like, girl, you better get some sense and start spending your money on things that actually matter. Anyway, Melissa called me after about a week when I was like after temping for the actual agency, and she was like, okay, you're hired. You know, we really love the way you were answering the phones, how you were handling the candidates that were coming in. We really think you'd be a great addition to this agency. Come through, come work for us. So that was my first permanent job as a recruiter's assistant, or some might call it a junior recruiter. So essentially what my role was that I was in support of Melissa. So if Melissa would get a role from a client, I would be the one sourcing the CVs, setting up the interviews. She would interview the candidates on her own. I didn't really get involved in that. I would just set up interviews for Melissa to go interview the candidates. Her and I worked together for about 2.5 years in that role. And each year we made targets. So when you work in an agency, you have a target that you have to meet. I think our target was 700,000. And working with Melissa, we made millions. Like in the years that I worked with her, we made millions for that agency. And Melissa was really good at her job. I won't even lie to you. She was fantastic at her job. You know, she worked hard. She really, when she put her mind to something, she would get it done. An amazing, you know, just recruiter through and through. She had 20 years experience at that time, so she knew what she was doing. And as I was working with Melissa after like 2.5 years, I was like, I wanna, you know, stand on my own 2 feet and be a recruiter on my own. Like, I wanna be a recruiter. The owner of the company was there that day, and he's like, oh, you wanna be a recruiter? Cool, come on board. You can be a recruiter. So I was like, okay, child. Sorry, how long have I been talking? 11 minutes. I'm so sorry. So he was like, okay, you want to be a recruiter? Cool. In about a month, I was made into a recruiter. Remember, guys, recruitment, you get a basic salary, but then you also get commission. And when you get commission, the commission is good. Like, you can get double your salary, you can get triple your salary depending on how hard you work. So in recruitment, you can make a lot of money, okay? And you can also have bad months, but working with Melissa, to be honest with you, we never had bad months. We would have a month we wouldn't place, but the next month would make up for it exponentially. So essentially we would just have a good year all around, all the time. So what happened is that I became a recruiter at this agency for about 7 months. It was about a 6-month stint. But then I realized, you know, I don't really like agency recruitment. I really want to do internal recruitment. That is my ultimate goal. My goal is to eventually be like an HR director, HR manager type of thing. That is the road that I want to go, you know, down. So I started applying for jobs. I applied for a job as a recruitment administrator at like a boutique kind of, like, I call it boutique because it was a very like high class experience, darling, at another agency. But the reason I applied at another agency, even though I didn't want agency recruitment anymore, is because of how the agency advertised itself. It was so pristine, like the image of that agency, I tell you, it's amazing. So I applied for a recruitment administrator position. I went for the interview and they liked me. Guys, I'm a great salesperson, really. Like, I can sell myself, okay? So whenever I go for interviews, I might not get the job, but the feedback will always be, you're fantastic. Just kidding. I like to blow my own horn sometimes. Professionally, like, there are things that I'm really proud of, and it's that God has really been good to me in that area, like professionally, you know. But I went to this agency, this boutique agency, and I went for the interview, and I met the two ladies that I would have been reporting to, and they loved me. Went for the second interview with the director, and remember I told you guys that I wasn't dressed properly for the second interview, but I still got the job anyway by the grace of God. And I started working at this boutique agency in November 2019. Worked at that agency. I loved it. It was hard, I won't lie. That was probably the hardest job I'd ever had in my life. We were mainly recruiting CAs for our clients and different roles, but mainly CAs, chartered accountants. So that is where I got my exposure to the financial side of things. And to be honest with you, I like working with financial people because they're straightforward. If they don't like something, they tell you. If they like something, they tell you. So I liked working with professionals. Whereas my previous job at the first agency that I worked for, it was very generic in the type of people that I worked with. And with the boutique agency, I was working mostly with very professional people, very like people who are earning like 5 million. So I remember there was one CV and this person was earning 5 million. Like, we were just like, wow, okay, where are we gonna place you, you know? So we were dealing with people of really high caliber in terms of what they're earning, in terms of qualifications, people who, you know, just really know what they want when it comes to a job. So I really enjoyed that experience, but it was a difficult experience. And then COVID hit. When COVID hit, child, it just, you know, changed. When COVID hit, okay, if you can hear my sister and my whole family, they're just in the kitchen, just enjoying themselves. So yeah, like, tell my sister not to come into the room. So when COVID hit, I like had to, the company was like, okay, you know, COVID, we're gonna have to let you go. It was literally after my birthday. A month after my birthday, they're like, we're gonna let you go, you know, it's kind of expensive to keep you. And guys, with each of my jobs, my salary did go up each time. So each time I would get a new job, the salary would increase, and I give glory to God for that, because I didn't have the option to say mom and dad will take care of me in terms of like, they take care of me in terms of providing a roof over my head, but when it comes to getting myself a cell phone, getting myself a driver's license, a car, paying my school fees, that is all on me. So literally, I look after Surprise. I'm her guardian, if you will. So they let go of me in June 2020. COVID was literally, we were in the thick of it. And it was tough, you know. Personally, I wasn't okay. I was just going through a really tough time personally. So I really was just in the thick of personal matters and having lost my job. And I just went into a rut, and I prayed to God and I said, Lord, I ask you, Father, to, you know, please provide a role that is not within an agency. So I continued to pray for about 4 months, and after 4 months of just praying and seeking God about a job and other various things, my healing personally, he found me a job at a audit firm. So a very big international audit firm, if you will. And with this role, I remember sending my now manager a LinkedIn message to say, hi, my name is Surprise. You don't know me, but please, when you do have openings, please consider me. I would like to work with you. I sent this message to him in May. And then he said, I will get back to you when we have roles. Send me your CV. Cool. People say that all the time on LinkedIn. Send me your CV. I'll get back to you. So I thought it's not going to come to anything, because I used to say that I'm a recruiter, so I know the game. Like, I know what to say to people. So I was just like, okay, nothing's going to come of this. I'm probably going to be working at an agency again. And an opportunity did come to work in an agency, but for 5,000 Rand. And at the time, like, my bills were like the bills that I had, because I hadn't been working for a couple of months. Like, I had so many bills that, like, that money wasn't going to be enough to cover the bills. And also, like, there's so many plans that I had. Like, I want to get my own place. And I remember when I told God about this job and I was like, Lord, I've gotten this offer. God was like, you taking this is you just not trusting me. And I knew that because God and I had spoken about the amount that I wanted. We've spoken about the type of job, type of boss. We've spoken about everything. And God said, I will give you all of that. Trust me. So I let go of the 5,000 rand opportunity and I was like, cool, I'm going to trust God. I'm going to put my faith in God. And in September, this guy came back to me. He's like, hey, send me your CV again. We have an opening for an admin coordinator. When he said admin, I was a bit like, I don't want an admin role. I want a role that's like not knowing actually what he meant. So I sent him my CV. And then, guys, MTN decided to shut down my phone because I hadn't paid for a couple of months because I wasn't working. So MTN shut down my phone and the lady emailed me like, hey, can you please come through for an interview? But I wasn't able to see the email the whole day because we had load shedding. I wasn't able to use the Wi-Fi, so I wasn't able to access anything. So when the electricity came back that evening at 5 o'clock, it was in September, I remember that there was an email to say, hi, surprise, can we see you for an interview tomorrow? I remember just wanting to cry because that email was sent in the morning at 9 and I only replied in the evening. So I replied to the lady. She was like, okay, we can make the interview tomorrow for 5 o'clock. So I was like, cool, great. On Microsoft Teams, like, cool, great, let's do this. So the next day at 5, they moved the interview to 5:30. I remember I was so nervous. They just asked me questions. What would you do if this happened? It was very scenario-based questions. Tell us about this, tell us about that. And I was interviewed by, I can't remember what this lady's role is. And I work with her and I can't remember her role. I think she's the HR manager. And then my current boss, who's the graduate manager. So they both interviewed me. It was a great interview. Well, I didn't feel it was a great interview. I actually felt it was a horrible interview because I was overwhelmed with like some of the answers. I was like, am I answering it correctly? And I was doubting myself. So I was really I felt like, oh, I can't wait for this to end, So we had that interview and by the grace of God, it went well. Then I had the psychometrics. Those psychometrics shall be flames. So I had the psychometrics and about a couple of weeks later, the recruiter that I was speaking to, because I wasn't speaking to my manager, I was speaking to the recruiter for the company that I was speaking to asked me for my address. When they ask you for your address, a lot of the time it's simply because they want to put it on your offer letter. This was in October. I looked at my mom and I that day had some errands to do. I had to go do my fingerprints for the company, crim checks and all of that. I went to go do my crim checks, and then because MTN had still blocked my phone at this point, I wasn't able to check my emails to see whether I'd received the offer letter or whatever. So my mom and I just had a girls' day, and when I got home I connected to the Wi-Fi and the offer letter was there. And I just remember crying. So at this point, I am the graduate recruitment coordinator. I almost forgot what I am. I'm the graduate recruitment coordinator. So I started out as a recruitment assistant to talent acquisition specialist to recruitment administrator to now graduate recruitment coordinator, which is basically a graduate recruiter. So what I do in my role is that I recruit people who have the CTA qualification. A CTA qualification is an honors in accounting for those that want to become chartered accountants. So basically I recruit people who have passed the CTAs into the audit firm, and they live their best lives out of that. They get training contracts and all of that. So that is my work journey, if you will. I started working at the age of 19 and haven't stopped since. I've just always been like, since I got into recruitment, I just grew a love and a passion for it, because as a recruiter, we hold your dreams in our hands. Like, so, you come to me with your CV, you want a job, you want that. I see how I can make that happen, sometimes for free, sometimes at a cost, because sometimes it's not easy. So now I'm no longer an agency recruitment. I specialize in a specific area, which is graduate recruitment. So I can't necessarily provide everyone with a job. It's just specifically that I provide graduates with jobs. I love my job. It's the best job I've had in my life. And I really thank God for this opportunity, because he really saw it fit that I'm amongst people who are of that caliber. I always look at my manager and think to myself, if I can be just an inch of what he is in the next 5 years, I'll be content in my career, because he is fantastic at his job. And outside of me, he's just a fantastic person. So I'm really grateful to God. So yes, guys, that is my I was about to say my recruitment journey. Yeah, my recruitment journey, if you will. I thought I didn't share this in my first recruitment series, but now I have. So if you ever had questions about what I do and all of that, now you know. If you do have any recruitment related questions, post them down below. I want to do a second video where I answer questions. So if you have questions like how do I get a job, my CV, this, post these questions down below. Share this video as well with people who are looking for jobs. I'm willing to answer every question that you have. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I've been talking for 25 minutes. Ooh, that is long. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, guys. Bye.